I'm so happy, Chris. You're on the tin crack every single episode now. It's amazing, amazing. I've also gone a bit hybrid tonight, and I've actually got a Titans mug with a hot chockey in there. So I've got
Hey,
a zero
very
sugar
nice.
lemonade.
So,
I've got
so,
my
so
water,
Fingo.
and I've got a hot chockey. So it's a weird mix of beverages tonight. But the voice has been peppered today, so I'm ready to rip in for SuperCoach. But Chris, we are just speaking in the green room. My God, I'm just devastated, like beyond devastated. We spoke last week on Tackles and Tinnies, episode 12, regarding the flex position for myself. I made the decision to sell Pappenhausen. And then I'm like, I had Dylan Edwards. I literally had Dylan Edwards, and then I had him as my captain. I'm like, I got a vibe. I got a feeling that this is going to be the play of the week. And then you and bloody Jake convinced me to get my arch nemesis, Nicho Hynes. Don't get me wrong, Nicho did all right. He got like 77 or something. But bloody hell, when Dylan Edwards pops off and gets 170 points, and then game over. Like, after that, I was just raging in bed. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm so cranky. Like, I don't know how to react. That's a 200-point swing. Lost both my head-to-heads because of it. And it's like, what do we do? Chris, I need a therapy session. Help me.
Hey, look. First of all, look. I'm sorry, man. Look. I think Nico's the right buy still, but I was like this week, and I feel bad that I shouted Nicho captain, let's go last week too to get you in it. For what it's worth, I did VC Nicho as well, but yeah, look, that just dude, it's just bad luck. There was no way knowing his ceiling was that high. Like that was just an absolute ridiculous bomb, really, by Edwards. And I feel bad for you as well because you've been planning to go Edwards for about 3 weeks. Like, you've been talking about it in the chat, and last minute you don't get him. It's
Bro,
injury coverage
devastated.
for you too.
Devastated. Like, literally, as you just said, been planning for like weeks. I'm like, nah, Dylan Edwards is my boy post Origin. I'm feeling it's the right call. Held Pappenhausen the extra week. I'm like, yep, because I'm going to get Dylan Edwards in. I shouldn't have slandered him about the New South Wales selection. Probably heard me on Tackles and Tinnies and decided to pop off. So, and then on top of that, the bloody Gold Coast Titans losing in Golden Point to your Tigers, mate. What do you say about that? Bloody Adam Dewey out of nowhere.
Oh man! Oh look, what I heard just then was, hey, it was your fault. So I retract my apology then. It's your fault for shitting on Edwards.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, no, no. How bad? But look, let's be honest. How bad was the Tigers Tits game? Oh man, like it was just a comedy of errors. Yeah,
Bro,
I don't think any team deserved, and no team deserved to get 2 points. If I'm being perfectly honest, but
mate, I'll take him one. I would have taken one, mate. I would have taken one. But yeah, bloody hell! Like the last play of the game, the setup for the field goal was absolutely woeful. Pardon me, by the Tigers, and then Dewey absolutely shanks it and still gets it through. And
yeah,
bloody, he's been popping off for like the past 6 weeks after I sold him. So standard procedure on SuperCoach, mate.
And then all the knock-ons that were missed by Belinda Sharp, yeah, as well. So I can't imagine Tits fans being happy at all.
Bro, so bad. I just literally AJ Brimson, Tino, Jaden Campbell, and Chris Randall. That's it. Everyone else go away. I really don't care. Like, I'm not going to go into it. We'll be here bloody for an hour dissecting. I've been. I also bought Rugby League Live 26, and I tried rebuilding the Gold Coast Titans, but the game is that buggy that you can't even on the My Career, My League sort of thing. What it is, you can't even change the teams. Like, I made a trade for Selwyn Cobber. I'm like, stick popping off, starting really well, and I'm like, I can't choose anyone but the Broncos. So to make a trade with. So I don't know if you've heard, but yeah, the game's an absolute shambles. Like, you actually can't do anything. So really frustrating that this game had 2 years to build, and then they decided to release it when the game wasn't even ready. Like, huge mistake for the developers. And yeah, have you heard much about Rugby League Live, mate?
Yeah, I've seen all the memes and I've seen all the ratings, some of these ridiculous ratings, like Teague Wilton, 91, that kind of stuff. Although he was really good actually last week for the Sharks.
And Also, which is relevant to you because I traded in draft Chanel Harris Tavita for Day for Feeder, played Day for Feeder, gets me 10 points, and I rested Teague Wilton, and then he gets the 91. So it's like, what can you do, mate?
Oh man, and did you see? I don't know if you saw Team List Tuesdays, but David Feeders, he's re-aggravated his ankle injury. How's that CHT for Feeder trade turning out for you?
Mate, I only need it for finals, bruh. If he gets some reps in for the semi-final for head-to-head, then we're on. But I'm probably not even going to get to that stage. So we are skating on thin ice. But mate, how's your team looking after last week?
No, I had a really good week actually. I scored 14-12, and it's all thanks to King Edwards, really, who I captained. But you know, honestly, like I got lucky. Like I had planned to like get like Cleary this week. I was thinking, oh look, should I just not sit on it, not do anything, sit on my trades, and then I'll get Cleary in this week. But you know, like I knew I had to load up on the Penrith draw. You know, I already had Blaze, but you know, like when Trell went down, I was like, oh, dude, there's gonna be zero resistance from the bunnies, and I was like, okay, my hand's forced to get Edwards, you know, and I wasn't even sure if he'd goal kick and stuff like that, but yeah, it was just crazy. I had no idea he'd get 170. It was just insane.
Yeah,
and so that was pretty instrumental, especially in a round where like so many SuperCoach relevant players scored like sub 60, like Teddy, you know, and the like. Yeah, but just injury carnage, man, so much.
Yeah, it's been devastating.
I know it hit your team as well, the injury carnage.
Oh, the saviour by absolute out of nowhere, Sandon Smith's been named, which is absolutely helped me with Cam Munster and a couple of other boys being taken out. But man, my team, it's skating on thin ice. We are running low on trades, like 2 trades left after making 1 this week. I'm holding Tino. I'm holding Keon. The only reason I'm holding Keon is because it's inevitable that 1 FRF or 2 RF will be injured the next 2 weeks. So by default, I actually have to hold. Yeah, mate, rattled. And again, that Nicho Hynes chat earlier on, yeah, probably long term it's the right play, but it hurts. It does hurt a lot. So I just sometimes just do it for the vibes. I just want to make the trade for the vibes, but at the end of the day, I think I just got to trust my gut. Like that Nanai call I made earlier on in the season where he popped off for those 3 weeks. That was a good call, but no, I'm doing it for the lols, and then it's affecting my season. So, but yeah, I scored a miserable score of, hang on, screen's reloading. Miserable score of 1190, which now I'm a season rank of 5,270. So I'm actually out of the top 5%. I was so close to the top 1%, and now I'm just free falling. I'm just going into the sinkhole of New Zealand. So I don't know, mate. It's terrible. It's very, very terrible. Now, Supercoach this week, mate, as you were mentioning before, there are some big injuries and people are running really low on trade. So I just mentioned before, Keon Kulmatangi, he's out for the entire year. That's huge. Tino, he's out for probably about a month on the best case scenario. I'm missing someone else. Who was that? It was Val Holmes as well. Yep. Val Holmes is out. So again, carnage. How many trades you got left, mate?
I have 4 at the moment left. Yeah. And my overarching recommendation, you know, for people who have like less than 6 trades, like when we talk about later, we'll talk about trade targets as usual. But if you have a warm body, do not trade them. If they're alive and kicking and they can make a footy field, just keep them for this week. If you've got 17, that's it. Just hold on. Do your best to hold on to the trades. There's going to be more injury carnage. Yeah.
Oh, mate, it's so bad. And again, like making those trades post Origin, and guys like myself and Jake who picked up Val Holmes for the Queensland Spirit, and then bang, instantly got that rotated tough tear. And now I'm making a double trade for Lomax, which is just such a waste and so frustrating for a lot of super coaches out there. But yeah, I totally agree, man. Like if you have a player that is available to play, you just got to hold. It's inevitable. We're going to have so many other blokes going out just due to overuse, fatigue, and Keon's prime example are just complete accidents. Like, you can't do anything about those ones where you just get caught with your studs in the ground. Kane Bradley, I think, is the first guy I want to talk about. He's on the bench, and he could be a bit of an AE nightmare now, so it's actually not ideal. But my boy from last year, Joe Chan, from round one last year, our saviour, Cheapie, then turned into an absolute AE nightmare. I tell you what, Bradley's probably the new Joe Chan. What are your thoughts on Kane Bradley? What do we do with him, mate?
Oh, look, for me, it doesn't matter. I only had 17 this week. So I've now got 18. He can't be my AE nightmare, thankfully. Look, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets if he gets dropped, like he has in the last 2 weeks. Sorry, was it last week? Sorry, late, and he just got replaced. I can't remember who. Yeah, so I think you just hold on and just see what happens, really. Yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned. Yeah, just play your best 18 and just pray that nobody gets an HIA and he doesn't have to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting to see that on the extended bench for the first time, I believe, former Gold Coast Titans boy Josiah Pahulu. I'm thinking he might get a crack at that 17th position. But yeah, he's named at number 19. So it'll be very interesting if he actually gets his debut this week for the Melbourne Storm.
Yep.
Big loss for the Titans. Great gain for Melbourne Storm. Chris, I think I'll just throw it straight to you, mate. Who do you want to talk about straight up?
Oh, look. Why not? We'll just go straight into trades, really. Yeah. Actually, no, before that, no sign of Pappy in
Big one to call.
in Teamless Tuesdays. If you've held, you have to be just absolutely fuming. That you've held for like 3 weeks, and you're a 4th week now, and he's still not showing up. Yeah, that just sucks. Yeah.
I reckon he's out for another 2 weeks. Honestly, it's normally that 4 to 6 week bracket where they're at, and if Nick Mean is doing so well at fullback, Melbourne Storm are not going to be in any means to be rushing them back, even with how many injuries they've got to their outside backs.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like you want him back, you need him for the finals if they're going to win this year for the premiership. So you just wait. And you just give him as much time until he's actually truly fit. But we'll go into trade targets. I guess number one trade target. Oh, number one in the top 1%. We'll do top 1% this today. We'll just be paying Haas at 727K. Like Ryan, you have him obviously, but there's going to be a lot of people who sold him about 6-7 weeks ago for Origin, and the buy's over. He's not gonna and he's fresh off a buy now. You can't escape playing 2 front row forwards. He and Terrell May are just the best front row forwards in the competition. They average like 15 points more than the 3rd highest scoring front row forward, which is Joey Taps, and he's floundering at the moment with his minutes. I would just say get Payne Haas in and then be done with it is what I would say.
100%. Like, again, people like myself who was so gung-ho with their trades early on, and with Cleary the same thing. I couldn't afford to trade Cleary or Payne Haas, and thank God I didn't, because I've got 2 trades left. But yeah, he's definitely the main guy to get in. Like, he's 100% set and forget after that, I guess 2 weeks off or 2.5 weeks off after Origin. He should be ready to go. Him and Paddy Carrigan are one of the get to the Broncos into the top 4 to try to get that second chance opportunity. I think they'll be running red hot for that run home. And Payne Haas, as you said, mate, he's tackle busting, offloading, potential try scoring, line breaking, you name it. He's got it in his arsenal. Yeah, 100%. Gut your team if you have to. Get your nothing. Get your Kane Bradley in if you need to. Get your my boy Kane Lawson in your team.
Nathan Lawson.
Or Nathan, not Kane. Nathan. That's how much senior he is to me, mate. So, we love you, mate. We love you, Lawson. You've been good enough for me, bro.
Put some respect on the name.
Be there for round 27 when there's no one available. So,
but no, that's actually kind of good, actually, because we should actually talk about Nathan Cleary, who's like the second most traded in this week. By all means, he's a slam dunk. The positives, he's averaging 82. If you take away his HIA affected game against Melbourne when he scored 2, and then his free game draw, he's softer than Sharman. The negatives are there's no guarantee he'll goal kick this week if you buy him, and then 2, who do you leave out? Because his half-mate mates, Nicho Hynes and Jerome Hughes, they've got 5-game averages of 80 plus as well. And then, you can't touch Nicho this week. He's playing a decimated Souths, and then Hughes scores higher when Munster isn't playing as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I would say that as well. We can't game out every single scenario, but if you're thinking about buying Cleary this week, I'll game out the most common scenario, pretty much, where people own. I'm going to assume they own Teddy and Drinky.
Yep.
Like if you bought Edwards last week, then I think trading either Nicho or Hughes to Cleary is just sideways. So as a result, you'd have to think about trading a fullback. But I think you're taking on a huge unnecessary risk by anti-potting Edwards, Drinky, or Teddy, and because they can all go massive 100 plus on any given day. I know people are talking about trading Teddy out because I think he's like the number 7 most traded player. But I would be real careful because he's still averaging like 91, or he's actually averaging 88 to be exact. But that 37 score he had last week, I think is a one-off. I think it's just because of Sam Walker, just finding, their way with the attack, and if you don't own Edwards, I think you have to ask, do you think that Cleary's the best halfback or fullback for the flex position? And if so, I think you buy him. And personally, I think he is really.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously you have him, Ryan. So it's easy for you. You don't have to think about it, but it's a hard watch for people who are going to death ride him this week. Really, is what I think.
Oh, I think Cleary, as a New South Welshman, Chris, I think you might agree with this. He's probably out for an Avenge tour. People are saying he's going to lose his New South Wales jersey. People are saying he might even lose the Australian jumper. He's going to be on a mission. And again, the stories written on the wall that Panthers aren't going to make the grand final, it's all written there for him. I think he's just going to come out absolutely gun-ho, and this Panthers team's looking red hot. And they've just shown in the past couple of weeks that you don't need Cleary. That actually leaves a bit of pressure off him and some of these other boys like Dylan Edwards and Isaiah Yeo didn't even play last week. You got Edwards, Yo, Blaze Talungi's looking good. Like Panthers are coming in red hot. Get Cleary in. Get Cleary in. I actually had to pick between Cleary and Edwards. I probably would go Cleary.
Yep. I'd agree with you. Really. Like, I just don't think Edwards, I mean, you can buy him this week as you want, but I don't think he's going to score 173 again, as I said earlier. And you'd only buy him already if you had Cleary, really. And you only owned 2 halfbacks. Blake Brayley, he's the 3rd most traded in. And I think he might be the best hook option, actually.
100%, he's the best hooker option. Jake was popping off in the group chat saying, I told you so, I told you so. I kind of wish I waited one more week, and I think the Sharks have just burnt me too many times, and I was too scared, again, with obviously the Nicho Hynes banter. But, yeah, man, Blake Brayley all of a sudden has got a running game. Where did this come from, Chris?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Like, and then, in the last 5 weeks, he scored 4 tons. And then the other one that he's missed out was like a 97 or something like that. It's crazy. And then this week he plays the Souths. I mean, I think if you you and I both have Harry Grant, and he was so close to being a 90 last week as well. If it wasn't for that elbow, he would have got that try. So I don't think it's too far off. But the problem is, if Blake Riley keeps scoring 100, which I don't think he will, at some point it has to stop. But that's 40 points every week over Harry Grant or your Connor Watsons, that you're just giving up straight away. So, I think that if you've got Haas, I think you probably consider trading KK to him, really.
Yep.
But I don't think I would trade Harry Grant or Connor Watson for him, really, unless
side
you had
trades.
a lot of trades. Yeah, exactly right. Maybe Watson, because he didn't play very well last week and he got 47 as well. But then again, Harry Grant was only 56, so he wasn't much better.
Yeah.
And then probably last trade target to probably talk about for this week in terms of people you want to buy really would be Zach Lomax. 735k, 3-game average of 89. He just keeps delivering. He keeps offloading. He keeps taking hit ups. He keeps scoring tries. Mitchell Moses is back this week.
Biggest part.
Adam, I think, Adam about 2 weeks ago was saying, look, I'd like Adam of rank 13th overall on SuperCoach. Yeah, he was saying, look, I want to maybe wait until round 23, possibly, when they play, the Cows, or was it, or Souths or something like that.
Yeah, it's
But
trash
it's
talk. Yeah.
hard. It's hard. He just keeps scoring. Yeah, massive
But
points.
again, he's just going to get 70 every single week. He's just that base and power is so good. Obviously, goal kicking, and now that Moses is back, regardless if he's coming back at 85%, he's going to get much better ball, and those kicks to Lomax, he's pretty much guaranteed almost every single time. So, yeah, especially guys like myself who went Val Holmes, it's just straight sideways swap. It's so easy. Like, you're not losing any money. You're getting a very similar player or archetypal player in Lomax. And again, I think Parramatta will be looking a little bit better. Interesting, no Dylan Brown, obviously, still, he's been dropped completely, obviously, because he's leaving the club. Do you reckon that will affect his score at all for Lomax or not?
Nah. If anything, not having Dylan Brown is actually better, because Dylan Brown always just plays only left. He never comes to the right-hand side. He never feeds the right. And all that happens is ball that goes to Dylan Brown is just ball that doesn't go to Zach Lomax, pretty much. Yeah. And I like having Moses back because their team looks so much better, and they also score more points generally. So it means he'll get more goal kicking, and I really would try to find a way. If I had to rank this week of those four guys I kind of talked about, I would say you want to get Payne Haas, pretty much, and then you either want to think about getting Cleary or Lomax, really. Brayley you want to get him, but I think you can kind of count on him possibly, regressing to the mean, or just praying anyways, especially if you've already got a gun hooker at the moment. Yeah. I'll just also quickly, you tell me if you're interested in any of these pods at all. So yeah, if you're looking for a pod this week and you don't like any of the guys we talked about, front row forward, AFB, he's 533k. He's got some easy matchups, so you're hoping that he scores more tries, but I will just say he doesn't necessarily score against bad defenses. So for example, this year, his tries have come against Penrith, Newcastle, Manly, and Melbourne. So none of these are bad defensive teams. Dane Gagai, 629k, averaging 85 since he moved to fullback. He has a bye next week, but he seems to be in the right place, right time. He just picks up easy tries and easy try assists. Olakawatu, he's back this week as well at 660k. Tricky draw. I'd be careful about it. Even though I know he's pretty, I guess, fixture resistant. That shoulder, it could pop out at any time, and then you're back in a Toby Couchman situation where now he needs surgery. Xavier Coates, he's 616k. You could trade him if you don't like Mark Nwanga-Nizawaze, because he's got a break even 159 this week. So Mark's 668. So you make a good 40k in cash as well. I reckon he's actually pretty good. Actually, he's probably your premier rocks and diamonds. And then I'd probably argue that you could pick up any Penrith, Sharks, or New Zealand backline because they all play really well. So they've got really good draws like RTS, Jesus, Brian To'o, Tom Jenkins, Ronnie Mulatalo, Casey McLean, all of those guys if you want to.
I was gonna shout out Casey McLean for you, mate. The McGlue hand. You slandered him for so long, and I reckon he's listened to the pod, and he's decided that I actually might pass the ball just to piss off Chris. And he's looking way better, man. Thomas Jenkins looking good too, due to the fact that's happened. Maybe you're the good omen for the Penrith Panthers, Chris.
Yeah, the moment I sold him, that was the thing. Oh man, so annoying. But no, good for McLean. I still hate him, but yeah, good for him. I won't be getting him in.
What about what are your thoughts on Dane Gagai, mate? He's been looking absolutely unreal. Now he's playing at fullback at a centre wing position, which is actually unreal. He's currently valued at 629k. He's got a break in of 15. Not the most desirable draw, but he's looking really solid. Had that cork at the end of last game, which sort of let Halamasia through up the wires. But what are your thoughts on Gagai?
Look, I really like him, if I'm being honest. I know. I'm actually a big believer of don't get players on a shit team, which is 100%. What the Knights are. And, I was worried. I was pretty worried last week because, he looked like he was barely finishing the game. And I was like, can he make it? Can his body make it through the rest of the season before he drops But I reckon if you've got the trades, I think it's totally worth it. Yeah, that being said, the issue is just it's the same issue with Gagai every year. Like, because he's not sexy in terms of his play, people just don't get him. Like, he averages like 70 for the last 2 years. He'd average 70 and nobody gets him at all. But I think he's a good one, honestly, as long as he can finish the season. Yeah, and you've got trades.
And going back to some of those boys you mentioned, mate, Xavier Coates, I think that's a great buy. Like, he looked absolutely unreal on the weekend. And again, when that Storm ensemble's on point and they're ready to go, Xavier Coates has proven this year he can go 140 plus. Again, line busting, tackle busting, aerial assault, you name it, he's got it. I love that. Brian Toto was another one you mentioned. Not the biggest fan, I was. And then he's just got that lingering issue with the knee and the hamstring. Just would not want to touch that. Even though he's absolute gun, don't get me wrong. But it's just too much red flags, particularly for you and myself who haven't got the trades to sort of get through the season with that. And another guy, Olakawatu. Yeah, I was talking to Gary and another physio that I know. And I was listening to I listened to the Magic Sponge podcast. And yeah, they were just saying avoid. Olakawatu, way too high of a risk of redoing it, as you mentioned, Chris, as well. That draw is not overly desirable, but again, who knows? He could get the bit of luck and just all of a sudden pop off and get 80 every week again. So he could again be a bit of a pod. AFB is probably an interesting one to discuss a bit more detail. Sharks are looking good. They've got desirable draw. Again, he can find a meat pie on any day of the week. He could be a direct swap with Keon if you got Keon in the FRF, or you can make your duels work, whatever. Would you buy AFB for Keon or Dylan Lucas?
See, I would say no. I don't rate him. He's just not looking as dangerous as he has in previous years. But the reason why I bring him up is because Adam and I were talking yesterday, and I said, "Hey, you could say sell AFB," and he was like, "No, I'm definitely keeping him. He's definitely keeping him." So he knows more than me. He knows something. Adam just simply said, "Just make sure you check your Sharkies numbers before you get him, because he does have a buy in around 25, and you could be in trouble if you have Nicho and Brayley at the same time, and one of their backline, because that will be 2, 3, 4 players."
Yeah. And Nicaragua potentially as well as another option there.
Yes, yeah. Who sadly is out. I'm so disappointed. I have him, but the one game I really want him for, he's not available for me. What can you do?
No, I did say in the group chat, I'm like, not vibing Nicaragua this week, and then all of a sudden gets that HIO. So if you're listening in the group chat, you would be welcome. Some other guys, Cameron Munster's obviously not playing this week due to his father's passing. He's got the funeral, and it's obviously RIP. Thoughts are with you, Cameron Munster. But that also, again, leads to a juicy sort of conversation. Again, I sort of talked to Jake a couple of weeks ago, and maybe yourself, I can't remember if you were there. Ethan Strange. Okay. Obviously, Raiders got the bye next week, I believe, which is not ideal, or 2 weeks away, either or. But Ethan Strange, he's getting better and better every single week. Great running game, winning team. That's the key. Winning team, and they're looking good. Pardon me. What are your thoughts if you want to go sort of a downgrade or sideways trade from Money Munster to an Ethan Strange or a Jaden Campbell sort of swapping out because the Titans are absolutely abysmal? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, look, Ethan Strange, he's an interesting one because his base is low. That's where the concern lies, and he has the ability to go massive because he had that 142 game when he goal kicked as well. I put him in the same category as KO Weeks, and a lot of people would be wanting to get KO Weeks instead, as opposed to Ethan Strange. I don't think he's bad at all. I think that, to be honest, I think he's worth a look for next year.
Yeah,
just not this year at the moment because he's stuck at that kind of middle price tag. Like if I was looking for a cheaper 5/8, I'd probably try to go at this point of the year. I'd try to go with somebody that was a little bit more reliable, because the problem is that it's hard to find space to play Ethan Strange because you don't know when he's going to go off and not. And I'd probably be looking either at Galvin or Tanner Boyd.
Yep.
Galvin being at 444K, which is, similar price to Ethan Strange, but Tanner Boyd's a lot better at 329k. This is the week to get him if you really want him to downgrade.
Is he though? Is Tanner Boyd really that good? Tell you what, the Warriors fans are absolutely laughing because he was abysmal in the last 5 minutes. No offense, mate, but he was not good in the last 5 minutes, and he got absolutely saved by Lecky Halamasima doing that try.
Yep.
Sort of masked his pitfalls, and again, that's sort of why other clubs such as my lovely Gold Coast Titans sort of let him go. Yeah, I would not be touching Tanner Boyd. Especially
Tanner Boyd, the reason why I'd say, because, obviously he scored 70 and 47, in the last 2 weeks. He can get you out of a pinch if you need him. For example, if Munster wasn't to play, if your 5'8" wasn't to play again, or they got injured and you needed a second, 5'8" to play just in a pinch, I think he would do a good job for you. And it's a good downgrade option. That's the only reason. But I would argue that even though he's not a great player, again, it's good team with a very, very good very, very good set of fixtures. They play Gold Coast this week, and then Dolphins, Bulldogs, Dragons. Oh, Gold Coast again, Para. So some kind of bottom feeder teams in that group. Admittedly, so he could get to 1, 2, 3 try assists, and all of a sudden you've got another 70, 80, which is kind of not too bad, really, for 329k.
Yep. And I think, Chris, this might not be the best conversation for you because this might hurt your soul a bit too much. But Lockie Galvin, we have to talk about him in a bit more detail. We do it every podcast. It is tradition here. Lockie Galvin, 444,000. I'm about to say kilometers. $444,000. Again, 5'8" only, but he is playing halfback, which is worthy to note. He scored 86 points. He's got 11 break even, projected to make 30k this week. Obviously, money's not probably the biggest issue for a lot of people. But now he's, I guess, cemented that halfback position in, again, a winning team. Got bailed out sort of in a couple of places, especially in that last cutout ball, which was actually fantastic, don't get me wrong, but definitely bailed out in terms of his score. What are your thoughts on Galvin?
Yeah, I'm not against him at all. I think he's not taking the line on as much and offloading as much as he did last year when he was playing with the Tigers. That's my only thing. But I think he saw his class with that final try assist he had where he threw the ball to the left to the winger. That was pretty sweet. I'm not against you punting and just going for it. If you have the money, really, yeah. But I would argue that, again, I can't imagine you wanting to play him in the next, because his fixtures aren't that great, to be honest. So therefore, I would say, that's 444 is a bit more money. You could keep that 110k if you were just to get Tanner Boyd and just pray that your other 5'8" is okay. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like it, to be honest. He's going to get heaps of ball, heaps of opportunity, gun team, and he's only 5% owned. I think, again, everyone's teams look exactly the same. So getting those pods in there, again, prime example, scored 86 points on the weekend. I think he could average probably 65 to 80 points on a regular, which, again, is fantastic value for what he's currently worth. And that's why I make the argument against Tanner Boyd, where Tanner Boyd might get 50. At least you got the upside of Galvin. And again, good team. We want good players in good teams. And again, thank you, Josh Randall, because I picked him up in draft, which was absolutely fantastic. So thank you, brother.
I was just looking at the draw as well, but I'll just briefly say to the listeners, they play Manly this week, and then they play Tigers, which I would say fair. I would definitely maybe consider playing him against Tigers, and then New Zealand, maybe. But then Sydney, Melbourne, Penrith and Sharks, I feel like you're going to bench him, and I can't imagine you playing him unless there were huge mass restings in rounds 26 and 27. Is what I would say.
Yeah. But then Galvin probably doesn't play anyway because he got Toby Sexton, just goes straight in. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. And another one, bit smoky here, but Tylan May. Okay, so we got Terrell, but this is his brother Tylan. Obviously, you'd be going a week early, But at 444k, mate, as a Tiger supporter, bloody hell, he looked that good. I was so high on him last year after that World Club Challenge with the Panthers just losing in the final seconds. But Tyler, mate, literally give him the ball, let him cook. He looked that good. What are your thoughts on Tyler, mate, at 444k?
Oh yeah, man. I've always been high on the Yam, like real high on him, like from his Penrith days. Like I know he's good. Like I just can't believe he's fallen into our laps. Like I know he's good, but he looked great. But you've got to remember, the opposition he played with, that against, I think that's possibly why he looked real good as well. So temper your expectations. Temper your expectations. We'll see him again against Penrith this week, and I think if he looks good against Penrith, 100%, yeah, 100%, because he's against Liam Martin this week as well, and Brian Toto and Tungo. So if he produces, I think then maybe jump him. I'd probably say jump him on draft. Actually, is what I'd say. I don't think many people would be. Put a waiver on him. Is what I'd say this week. Yeah.
Do you reckon Liam Martin plays this week on top of that? Because Liam Martin's named at 19th man.
Oh, is he only 19th? Okay.
Yeah.
I
You got
apologize. I thought
Garner
he was
and
named at
Papali'i.
12.
But
Oh,
surely,
yes, it was. Yeah. Oh, even then, Luke. Oh, no, it would be. I reckon it'd be Luke Garner who'd play. Yeah, I reckon Luke Garner's fairly solid defensively as well. So if he can score against those three, yeah, lock him in.
Yeah.
You can go for a buy, especially in draft. Yeah.
Oh man, I honestly reckon he's a bit foolproof, and I love Skelton outside him too. Like again, Titans didn't look too great defensively, but if he can get one-on-one with his winger Skelton, he's probably going to score majority of the time. So he's going to get that try assist here and there as well as again getting his opportunities himself. Luai, him, and Skelton on the wing. That's a kind of a nice little left-hand side you got going there. So as a Tigers fan, mate, I think you'd be absolutely laughing going into the future. And Terrell and him combining, you got to love it. You got to love the brothers connecting. Good to see if Gerbo and Turbo could do that a little bit more often, or Burbo as well. It's good to see the May boys starting to cook.
No, it was nice. Yeah, no, it was. I was going to say it was nice seeing Terrell feeding Taylor. A few times where I was like, I don't think you need to pass to him. I could see him just looking for him. Yeah,
it's wild, which I thought was funny. Like absolutely wild. Okay, another smoky one. Jermaine Hopgood, so annoying that he's not FRF to RF dual, but he's obviously bottomed out in price. He's currently a tick under 400,000.
Yeah.
I think his minutes will start potentially increasing, and I do love him way more in a simplistic role at front row. What are your thoughts on a bit of a pod if you've got the trains for Jermaine Hopgood?
Don't touch him. Sorry.
Bad pod.
Oh no! Like he's as I heard somebody on a podcast say today, Jermaine Propgood. He's a good player. Like it's since he's been playing at front row forward, he's been averaging well. But I would say that there are just better. There are just better 2RFs available. That's all. And he's not offloading. That's a problem. That's where a lot of his benefits come from, him offloading, which means that he then gets try assists and stuff like that over the last 2 years that he just hasn't had this year. That's the issue. So there's not much upside to him. It's a little bit like Paddy Carrigan, who's been averaging 67, and I think he's the number 8 most bought in player in the top 1%, and then I think it's 7th most in the top 10% or something like that. Like I can see why they're buying him, because he's cheap. He's like 570k or something like that, and he's averaging 67. But like there's no upside to him. He'll get you your money. Like funnily enough, if you're thinking about like getting somebody like a Jermaine Hopgood, then I think you're actually better off getting Isaiah Yeo, really. With a little bit more upside, and I think he's a little bit cheaper. It's something like 550k or something like that.
And the minutes, mate. And the minutes. Like Hopgood's going to get 60 minutes max. We've seen throughout the whole entire year, actually, he's been getting like 35 minutes. So obviously his minutes look like they potentially could be ticking up with some mass changes in that squad. But yeah, Isaiah, that's a great shout, mate. Great shout.
Yeah, it's a shame. I just don't have I don't have the I don't have the trays for it, and he's a bit boring. It's like missionary, like it's just yeah.
If you had to choose
But
between missionary one and missionary two, and by that I mean Isaiah Yo and Paddy Carrigan, who would you pick out of those two? Because again, I've got to get Keon out eventually, and I'm definitely looking at a guy like that. And again, they're so durable.
yes,
I'm touching all the wood on my desk right now. They're so durable. We don't no injuries here. Um, who would you pick?
I reckon. Oh, I can see. I maybe I just take back everything I said a minute ago because I'm gonna pick Carrigan actually, funnily enough. Only because I think it's just the restings, just mostly the restings potentially that Isaiah Yo could get. But the truth is that I think if you had to take the risk, I think you're better off getting Yo, honestly, than Carrigan.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think there's more upside potentially with Yo. However, Carrigan with the jewel, invaluable.
Yeah, that's actually
Invaluable.
that is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think Carrigan for that reason alone. If you've got low trades like myself, you like literally got 3 or less trades, I probably would get that duel because Keon to Paddy, then you got that flexibility still with the FRF
Mm.
2RF duel. And then again, you can flip guys, Tino, Ethan Roberts, whoever you got, Aaron Clark, those type of boys. You can just flip them around. Again, people are going to have to hold Tino like myself. Having that flexibility, I think, with Paddy Carrigan. And again, good player, winning team. So,
Yeah.
yeah, old reliable, old missionary. We do
Yeah.
like the missionary here. So, is there any other boys, mate, you want to talk about?
Oh no, not really. The only other thing was I thought it was interesting that Purdue was back at center. So just yay for Drinky owners.
Yeah.
You know, scores will go up. Although Tom Duffy is playing, so he might just take all the goal kicking as well. So yeah, and that's really it.
I
Really,
think there's one other conversational point that might be worth having. Again, sort of relates that to our F situation that we got going with Lucas and Keon, potentially Tino as well. The Raiders second rowers. So Hosking
yeah,
and Hudson Young. I think it's a good talking point because I've got both. What can I say? Both are good. Okay, both are good. If you had to pick one, who would you go? And again, we could look at Hudson Young's potential osteopubis injury. Again, for the listeners who listened last week, I've had it last year. Essentially, when you're not warmed up, it's really hard to move. But once you're warm, it's not too bad. And again, he's getting medical grade steroids and cortisone and you name it. He's got something in there to make him run. Who would you pick? Hosking looked great last week.
yeah. No, he did. He really did. I wish I didn't leave him on the pine. Yeah,
Draft
last
10
week.
classic.
Yeah. Like I liked how Hosking, he started at 2RF and then he moved into the middle when Joey Taps went off. And then he got arrested as well himself at about 60 minutes, and he came back on in like the 70th minute. I like how Ricky does that often. I think he does that often with Tom Starling as well. But I think it has to be hands down Hudson Young. He looked real good last week. He scored 65. Great draw, but the thing is that he's not at rotation risk. I feel,
Yes.
compared to Zach Hosking, who also isn't technically at rotation risk, but the issue is that Matty Nicholson is due back, I think, in 1 or 2 rounds, and if
I'm
that
literally
happens,
looking
then
at
the
it
question
right
is,
now, mate.
I think he's back in 1 or 2 rounds, and then that's your problem
Yeah.
because he'll have to start losing minutes when Matty Nicholson comes back. He might still play,
Round
but
23.
yeah, he might
Literally
still
do it.
play, but he definitely won't play the minutes he's been playing with. He'll have to share that role.
I'd say
So
Nicholson comes
therefore,
off the bench. So, yeah, maybe
yeah,
50, 55 minutes for Hosking.
yep.
Not ideal. Not
Yeah,
ideal.
yeah. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter if he keeps scoring tries. He just gets automatic 30 every week as well. It bails him out. But you definitely go Huddy Young. Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter Young's absolute gun. Maybe one more boy. And again, Jake, this might hurt the heartstrings. And Chris, I know you can empathise with me here too, mate. But Clint Gutherson, King Gutho, finally. He showed some signs of life, even without my boy Christian Tuapolotu, the money man. Didn't need him. He's back. King Gutho. What are your thoughts?
No, just no. Look, if you like, again, look, like I said last week, if you're a Dragons fan, you can get him. Just like Reece Walsh, if you're a Brisbane Broncos fan, go get him. SuperCoach is more than just getting points. Sometimes it's just getting a player that you like. But why would you get him when you've got Edwards, Teddy, Drinky? Yeah, that's just
520k, mate. He's looking good.
Like he's not gonna score. Oh yeah, look, yeah.
Career on average of 67.
Sure, listeners.
He tries hard. He's got that NO. You're NO, maybe not athleticism, but he's got NO.
Yeah, fine, listeners. Yeah, get him last before he retires at the end of the season. Yeah.
Fuck, he looks so slow, eh? He actually looks that slow. I would like to see him at 5'8", to be honest. That bit of a transition. I don't know how good his longer range kicking game is. And obviously King Tonga, he's been good, so I don't want to see him lose his job. But yeah, I think Gutherson going into 5'8" next year could be a thing. What are your thoughts there?
I actually quite like that, actually. You're right. Because that's what's elite about him, obviously, is his obviously his endurance, but also just his passing game is very, very good, and his decision making. I really, really like it. Yeah, but you're right. I don't think it's going to happen. I drop him for Carl Flanagan, but Daddy won't let that happen for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Daddy Flano. I think that's most of the boys. Let's have a quick conversation about captains, mate.
Yeah.
Who are you looking at captaincy this week? And I swear to God, if you say Dylan Edwards, I'm punching the screen.
Nah, I'm just captaining Nicho. I'll probably VC Drinky or Edwards, but it doesn't even matter to me. I'm not even thinking about it. Look, it's going to be this. I'm hoping for a replay. I'm going to make the same play as I did last week. Nicho against Souths. And I'm just hoping he goes bang. If Edwards can go 173, surely, we're looking at 200 with Nicho.
Will South be better now because Jai Gray's back, though? They haven't got Alex Johnson back there. Jai Gray is pretty savvy in defence.
Yeah. Nah, it's the rest of the team. They're just all decimated. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
really. That's what I think. Actually, can I just shout out to Alex Johnson? I actually thought he looked real good actually at fullback these last few weeks. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
Well, shout out to Alex Johnson, man. He got extended to 2027, so he's probably guaranteed that ultimate try scoring record. So that'd be fantastic. Obviously, touch wood, no injuries. But yeah, that'd be fantastic to go, or more than likely going to get that probably by the end of the season, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but they're my thoughts.
There
are some really good juicy matchups this week. If you want to be super safe, you can Captain Payne Haas against Para. You can choose one of the New Zealand guys against Gold Coast, but I don't really think there's anybody really of irrelevance against Gold Coast. For New Zealand, you can do RTS, but he hasn't tripled at all this year as well. You could also go Cleary against the Tigers, but or even Brayley against the Sharks, but I don't think you would go against Brayley against Souths, but I think he'd go Nicho.
Smoky chat, Brayley at captain. That is absolute smoky chat. I've currently got Cleary as my VC with that juicy Tigers matchup. But I tell you what, I'm gonna have to be pretty quick on the trigger because the next game straight after is the South Sydney versus the Sharkies, and screw it. I'm going Nicho again. Let's go back to back. Nicho Hynes. If I'm riding Dylan Edwards sadness from last week, I may as well just double down and get Nicho Hynes. Probably going to captain him every week just for the morale.
Yep. Here's a question. Let's say Cleary goes off. How much does he have to score for you not to loop? For you to loop him?
Tough one. Tough question, mate. I'm going to say 90.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, having done this season now, I regret all the times I haven't looped over 80. I would honestly say something like that, like 90. Yeah, just
Yeah.
loop him. Doesn't matter if you miss out on points with Nicho. I think just take the points where possible. Yeah.
And it's just, well, I'll know because if Kane Bradley also plays and he gets a shit score, then I can at least put that into the equation too of the AE. But if Kane Bradley doesn't play, I'm just a full squad, like with one flex.
Yep.
So that does make it a little bit easier because then I have like either Turbo, Jerome Hughes, Aaron Clark, or Sandon. So it's like, yeah, I'll be all right there. But I think, Nicho Hynes, mate, he's the one. Let's all ride him together. Let's ride into battle. I'm a bit nervous, but I think it's the only way forward. Again, as you mentioned, Morgan, I know you're listening, brother, but Rabbitohs are trash. So get on board, team. Get on board.
I think Morgan's even realised that I think he's converted for the rest of the season to a Bronco. I think he's admitted he's now a Bronco supporter until the end of the season.
Literally, man, I just feel so bad for the Rabbits, man. Like injury after injury after injury, like so bad. And again, I forgot to mention earlier, like I had man flu, or like pretty much we had the podcast, mate, last week, and then Wednesday, next day, I was like, feeling tired. Thursday, I was like, nah, absolute man flu hit me real bad. And then I saw Latrell Mitchell, he was out. I'm like, I probably should do something. I was like, I need to make the trade. I reverse the trade. I just forgot. So disclaimer was there. I was going to go back to Edwards, but Nicho Hynes, I'll tell you.
Oh, this Edwards non-trade has really got to you, for sure.
Right. If you were, mate, I was whinging so bad to Laura. Like every 5 minutes, I was like, "This bullshit. I've got 48 hours to grieve about this. Let me have my win." But yeah, mate.
How did Laura go this week?
Oh, bro, don't get me started. Bro, she's on 1420. I think she's like I got to get a score.
Jesus.
Yeah. She's on the pod next week, mate. She can take my job. I was
going to say, can we replace her with your better half? Yeah.
But I literally said to her, I'm not helping you at the start of next season. And then when your team's shit from the start, then you can come have a chat with me. Because I've literally, everything I've said on this podcast, I get her to do my plan B trade. And the plan B trade, without a doubt, has just been killer. Absolutely killer. Her team's stacked. She's got 4 or 5 trades left, and she only needs to trade if there's an injury. So she'll get to round 20. She's got 1 boost, bro. She's got a boost left. That's how crazy it is. I don't even know what to say.
First year luck. That's all I can say.
No, it's bullshit. I don't care. I'm clipping this up. I'm making this a reel. Laura, you're doing your own team next year by yourself. But Chris, any final words, mate?
Nah, not really. All aboard the Nicho train, really. Yeah. Hopefully next week we'll all be super pleased. Pleased that we did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or we're raging. It's one or the other. So one or the other. Tackles and Tinnies, thank you very much. Another episode of Fantasy Files. Round 21. We are flying through the season. Again, we're making those comments on Instagram and TikTok more so, especially. But wherever your platform you're on, you can even reply on the Apple Podcast or Spotify comments, and we'll get through there too. Again, we want to hear your trades, want to hear your bad takes. If you want to join the hashtag Edwards Graveyard train, come with me because I'm sad. So, that's Tackles and Tinnies, guys. Appreciate your time tonight. Enjoy your week. Good luck. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, mate.